The Honourable Mark Buttigieg.
On the 6th of October 2025, New South Wales came together to mark Labour Day, a day typically seen as a welcome break from work and an extra day to relax. While true, Labour Day must also be a day to reflect on the hard-won wins of our trade unions and the transformative reforms that working people have achieved through their trade unions that has shaped the history of this great country. These achievements by the labour movement have resulted in very tangible and practical outcomes that give meaning to the great words in our national anthem, Advance Australia Fair. As a member of a state Labor government, it is very pleasing for me to see these reforms being further progressed in partnership between the union movement and the Minns Labor government. Since taking office in 2023, the Minns and Albanese governments have worked effectively with the unions to deliver progressive reforms in industrial relations to promote fairness, strengthen protections and empower our workers across our state. We've established the Industrial Relations Commission and the Industrial Court of New South Wales, reversing the previous cuts instituted by those opposite and restoring independent oversight of workplace disputes. Building on this, the government recently passed the Industrial Relations and Other Legislation Amendment Workplace Protections Bill 2025, which introduced civil penalties for workplace bullying and sexual harassment, strengthened protections under the Work Health and Safety Act 2011, New South Wales, and enhanced enforcement powers for regulators. Critically, the government also criminalised wage theft, aligning with federal reforms and sending a strong deterrent signal to exploitative employers. The government has taken decisive action to close long-standing loopholes and expand worker protections. Anti-discrimination protections now extend to workers experiencing domestic violence and those in insecure employment. The introduction of the right to disconnect gives workers the ability to refuse after-hours contact without penalty, while clarifying the definitions of employee and employer to address sham contracting and misclassification, ensuring greater fairness in employment relationships. Labour hire reforms now guarantee that workers receive the same pay as directly employed counterparts doing equivalent work. The government has also strengthened casual conversion rights, making it easier for long-term casuals to transition into permanent roles with greater job security. We've enhanced union access to workplaces that support collective bargaining and effective dispute resolution and have implemented public sector wage increases for some 600,000 workers, breaking the cycle of the unfair wage caps instituted by those opposite that stifled growth and did not recognise the very real worker contribution and value for over a decade. We have also introduced industrial manslaughter laws, which now allow for jail sentences if employers are found to be negligent in the lead up to deaths at work. Those opposite, Madam Deputy President, like to emphasise the relatively small proportion of the workforce who are members of unions, and they attempt to equate this with reduced effectiveness. Of course, this fails to recognise the highly effective outcomes achieved by unions across the economy and throughout Australian history in terms of achieving a relatively fair distribution of wealth and income. So, when we enjoy the well-earned rest Labour Day provides, let us also honour and remember the ongoing legacy of the union activists who fought for these well-deserved rights and recommit ourselves to building a fairer, safer and more equitable future for all. Madam Deputy President, these things do not fall from the sky, and they can wither away overnight the moment we take them for granted. Like anything, we need to cherish them, we need to remember them, we need to value them, and we need to strengthen them. And under a Labor state government and a Labor federal government, that's exactly what we intend to do.
The Honourable Natasha McLaren.